whole grains are made up of three parts. We have bran, and this is going to be the hard outer cover, which is actually responsible for the fiber, minerals, and antioxidants that it provides. Then we have the endosperm. This is the middle layer of the grain, which is mainly made up of carbs. And then we have the germ, that's the inner layer, and this has vitamins, minerals, proteins, and also plant compounds. Refined grains actually have had the germ and the bran removed out of it, and it only leaves the endosperm, which, as I mentioned, is the middle layer that actually consumes carbs. So when you are having refined grains, you're actually having only the carb portion of it, which is all sugar, and we know that that has been linked to inflammation, obesity, diabetes, heart disease, and certain cancers. So that's what we're trying to avoid when we're talking about grains. We are talking about whole grains being healthy for you, not refined grains, because pretty much they have sucked out all the nutrients out of it, and you're left with just the bad part of it. So of course, what happened is when companies kind of took over this industry, and of course capitalism took over, what happened is they thought this was a great idea because they can store the food on the shelves for so much longer without the food going bad. They didn't really realize what they were doing is sucking out all the nutrients out of this and really leaving people with the bad part of it. So obviously now we know a lot more, and we know that this process is a problem because of obvious reasons that I mentioned. So I will talk to you about what is considered whole grain in just a minute. But before I do that, I do want to talk about the benefits of whole grain. One, obviously whole grains have a lot of nutrients and fiber, and we know that fiber and nutrients are essential to our overall health. Fiber makes us feel very full, and therefore is linked to lower blood sugar levels, and it helps stabilize our blood sugars after we eat. So that's why including whole grains is so important in our diet, because it keeps us full, and obviously is linked to lower blood sugar levels and also maintaining our weight, because we tend to eat less when we feel full and we're digesting things slower. There's a lot of minerals that are important for our overall health, such as zinc, magnesium, manganese, which of course I mentioned in the past is very crucial for wound healing. And of course, for diabetics, we know that that is a very important element. Whole grains also reduce the risk of stroke. So we know a lot of studies have shown that those people who consume whole grains on a regular basis have a 14% less chance of developing a stroke in the future. So of course, we know that this is important, especially for diabetics who unfortunately are at higher risk for developing stroke than people who do not have diabetes. Obviously, lower risk of developing type 2 diabetes and lower risk of being overweight or obese, because obviously when we feel more full and we're digesting things slower, we tend to eat less, and we tend to not overeat as much. So of course, in turn, maintaining better blood sugar levels, and of course maintaining a target BMI, which is crucial. But also with that, it also helps support a healthy digestion. I know when I did my GI rotation, the gastrointestinal rotation, they could not stress enough how important it is for a lot of patients to incorporate more whole grains. They act as probiotics as well for our health, for our gut health. So that's why it is important that we incorporate whole grains for our overall health. Unlike refined grains, whole grains actually help with inflammation, and that's why they are linked with lowering the risk of certain cancers. So you probably want to know, well, how do I incorporate whole grains into my diet? You want to look for the word whole in front of the type of grains. If it simply says wheat instead of whole wheat, it's not whole. So you want to make sure, for example, if it says wheat, but it doesn't say whole wheat, then you would know that that is not going to be whole grain, and therefore that is going to be a refined grain that you want to avoid. So tell me something that has whole grains. Of course, that's what you want to know, and that's what we're going to talk about. Oatmeal, certain popcorns, quinoa, brown rice. You want to look for whole rye, wild rice, bulgur, and buckwheat are also going to be very high in whole grains. Whole oats are actually going to be very good for you because they have a lot of nutrients, they have a lot of fiber, And of course, they're naturally gluten free, so that's also good. But they also contain a lot of antioxidants, which are obviously known to reduce certain cancers and also lower blood pressure. So whole wheats are a good option for your whole grain. Whole wheat is also a very good and nutritious alternative to regular wheat. And of course, it is also rich in antioxidants, vitamins, minerals, and dietary fiber. You want to make sure you're getting the whole wheat versus just the wheat, because you want to make sure you're getting the 3 components that whole grain contains that give you the benefits of whole grain versus getting just the wheat, which is going to be stripped away of all the nutrients and all the benefits that you need to get. Whole grain rye is also good because whole rye is a healthy whole grain alternative to wheat. And obviously it can come in a lot of, dark rye flour, rye meal, or pumpernickel flour are obviously considered whole grains. So those are also good options, guys, because it's going to have a lot of fiber, a lot of nutrients, and obviously it's going to help maintain better glycemic control, as you're not going to see such a spike due to the high fiber content. Remember, guys, always to look for the word whole, because some of them can actually have mixtures and can have a lot of refined grains. So you want to be careful to which one you're getting. Again, you always want to make sure the word whole is in front of the grain that you're looking for. Otherwise, obviously, you can be buying refined grains and may think that that is actually nutritious, when in fact you're going to see your blood sugar spike and you're not really getting the benefits that you want. Bulgur wheat is also a good option that's packed with vitamins, with a lot of fiber. However, this is not gluten free, so obviously if you need something gluten free, then Bulgur wheat would probably not be the best option for you. Quinoa is also another one. Obviously, it's a superfood. It has a lot of vitamins. It's loaded with minerals and antioxidants and fiber. So again, guys, this is a great option. Brown rice is also good, and we know that most people do love rice. So brown rice is definitely a better option when we're talking about different rices, because of course brown rice is going to have all the nutrients that you need, the whole grain, versus white, which is going to have all the nutrients stripped away and obviously going to cause a blood sugar spike, whereas brown rice will help maintain your blood sugars more leveled, and obviously also benefiting from all the fiber, antioxidants, and all the nutrients that you're getting. Corn is also another great whole grain, but you want to make sure that you're getting the unprocessed. So the whole unprocessed corn, that's actually going to be the nutritious, which is packed with minerals, vitamins, antioxidants. But again, being careful on how you're reading your nutrition label and always making sure it has the word whole in front. Otherwise, you're probably not buying the right thing and you're not going to get the benefit. Popcorn is also a popular snack. I mean, who doesn't really like popcorn? It's considered a whole grain, which is great. But again, obviously homemaking your own is going to be more beneficial, because we know that store popcorn, they have a lot of unhealthy and added fats, which are not good for your overall heart health. So making them on your own in the stove or air popper is going to be the best option if you are a popcorn lover. And of course, for all my bread lovers, you want to make sure that you're doing whole grain bread. Always looking for the whole grain and always looking at the ingredients is going to be key. If you love pasta, of course, moderation is key. The same with rice. But you want to make sure that you're getting the whole grain pastas. And of course, this is another good way for you to incorporate more whole grains into your diet. Of course, we know that, incorporating a protein is going to be crucial. So balancing out your plate. But, whole grain is definitely going to be better than your white pasta. It has more fiber, more nutrients, and helps stabilize your blood sugars a little bit more. So guys, I really hope, I taught you that whole grains are minimally processed. And obviously these are much better options, and they are nutritious for us and necessary in our diet. You want to make sure that everything you're eating is going to be whole grain. And, again, it's been linked to so many great health benefits. So I hope you guys learned from this video, and please share this video with others that may benefit. If you have any questions, let me know or comment below, and I will see you guys all next time. Take care.